Hi, I'm Giancarlo,
And I'm Felicia.
and this is our review of Guards, Guards!
See, he yelled it because
Because
there's exclamation mark.
Thank you. Guards, Guards!
Look at there's a chick doing dominatrix.
I know,
Stuff.
and she's like 90 years old.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And
Because
cross.
that's not, leather-studded armor. Nowadays, leather-studded armor is dominatrix.
But
stuff.
maybe in medieval times it was just in the November edition of Vogue.
Could be.
Could be.
I wonder if they had a safe word. What's our safe word again?
Safe what?
You don't know the safe word?
A safe
dominate.
word?
Yeah, because dominatrix, right?
Oh,
When they
okay,
whip
right
and the guy goes no, he might mean yes, because he likes it, but you gotta have a safe word like banana peel or something.
Okay, right before you kill the
But
person.
yeah, like banana peel, and then they stop. You didn't know about that?
No.
You pretended not to know about it.
We'll never know now. No.
In Guards, players play as one of the 4 guilds tasked with finding and retrieving 5 of the 8 great spells that have gone missing from the unseen university in the city of Ankh-Morpork from Terry Pratchett's Discworld. In the box you'll find 8 guild cards, 2 from each guild being alchemists, thieves, fools, and assassins. A whole lot of cards ranging from volunteers, items, scrolls, and fates. A whole lot of tokens and markers ranging from guild saboteurs, poxes, alchemists, firewater, spell runs and spell returned, dragons, and even a rampaging luggage. A whole lot of currency tokens, silver and gold colored. A whole lot of wooden pieces from player pawns, golden pegs, and attribute markers. A red 8-sided die. A player guide to help players during play. And of course, a playing board divided into 4 quadrants and the rulebook. Return 5 of the great spells to the unseen university, and you win.
Here's how to set up. Each player takes a guild card, a player pawn, placing it on its space on the start gate in the quadrant with their guild house, and the spell run token of the same color. Each player then places their attribute markers on the respective starting points on the guild cards. Give each player 5 silver, and the player playing the guild of alchemists also receives 3 fire water tokens. Now shuffle the separate deck of volunteers into the 3 respective piles. Give each player 1 lord and lady's volunteer card and 1 man and beast volunteer card. Then for each deck, flip the top card and place it beside the deck. Shuffle the fate cards and place it into a pile. Shuffle the odds and sods deck and then separate them into 2 piles of 10 cards, placing 1 on both corners marked items. Do the same for the curses and cures, placing them in the corners marked scrolls. Keep the dragons face down near the playing board, and if ever needed, just place them on their plastic bases. And then last but not least, place the luggage token on its starting space. You're now ready to play.
A player's turn consists of 3 phases: movement, action, and effects. In the movement phase, a player can move his pawn up to 6 spaces. This does not require a die roll. In the action phase, players can do certain actions. Some require for the pawn to be on a certain space at the end of their move, while others can be performed if it just passed by certain spaces. The actions that your pawn needs to be on for you to be allowed to perform them are recruit a volunteer, collect one of the great spells and attempt a spell run, and be cured in a hospital. The actions that can be done by passing through the required spaces are buying an item or a scroll, collect gold from your guild house, and claim a reward from the city watch. You'll need volunteers to do spell runs and help your guild out. Here's how that works. There are 12 spaces on the board where you can recruit. 10 tell you from what deck you can recruit, and 2, the taverns, allow you to choose from which deck you want to recruit from. When you recruit, you may draw the face-down card from the top of the deck or the face-up pile of the respective deck. Then you may charm the volunteer, and if that fails, you might be able to bribe them. To charm them, roll the die and add your charm skill to the roll. If it's equal to or higher than the charm value listed on the volunteer card, then you've convinced him of your cause and he joins you. Roll a natural 8, and your pleas were so convincing that you may draw another volunteer and try to recruit him. In that case, you can bribe him in gold for the listed value under bribe. X means the character cannot be bribed. When recruiting a volunteer, add them to your hand and change any bonuses or penalties they might have to your guild's skill stats. Move the luggage the number of spaces stated on the card, if any, and draw a fate card if the volunteer has an F and immediately apply its effects. And lastly, if the volunteer is infected and you touch the card, usually from drawing it from the top of the deck, take a pox counter and you are now infected. Infected players move at -2 spaces and lose 1 point of charm level. Yes, Ankh-Morpork is a dirty place, but nothing like a trip to the hospital that can't cure it.
Now let me get to the spell run action. After all, it is the essential action of the game. Your guild card has 5 spell colors they need to get to win the game. When your pawn is at one of the designated spell tile of the color he needs, he can attempt a spell run. Then you can attempt the Wizard's Challenge to actually get the spells into the university. The Wizard's Challenge is played in steps and clearly shows which attribute you need to pass during the skill test. The more spells you return, the higher the challenge. Add the relative attributes of the volunteers who have successfully reached the gate and roll the die. Again, if the result is equal to or higher, you pass the test and return the spell. Discard your runners/volunteers for that spell run, along with your spell run token, and place a spell return token on your guild card to keep track of which spell you found, along with a wooden peg on the skill you passed at the university. If you fail, your turn ends immediately, and on your next turn you can try again or choose to send another volunteer from your hand to add their value to the targeted goal. Return 5 of the great spells, and you win!
Guards has so many elements we didn't explain its many faceted aspects. Some are the usual buying items and scrolls to aid or impede other players, while others are just cool game mechanics that add to the flavor and theme of Discworld. One is the rampaging luggage that travels across the city on its thousands of little feet, trampling anyone on their way and giving them an overnight visit to the hospital. While another is more subvert, sinister, and secretive, like the Society of Elucidated Brethren of Ebon Night, who secretly don't want the scrolls returned just yet, so they sabotage other players and summon dragons and quadrants to foil the guild's plan. It's a cool mechanic that forces players to put a volunteer with the Mark of Brethren into play, making players pool their resources together or deal with the effects of a dragon in a quadrant. Also, you can turn in wanted volunteers to the City Watch and get some gold out of it. So these elements add a sense of backstabbing to the game as well as co-op to defeat unwanted nuisance. Like, why not charm a volunteer just to make the luggage move and trample another player? Let's not forget the guilds have specialized abilities in their arsenal. The rulebook is well explained, and I gotta say I'm not familiar with the Discworld lore, but reading the introduction made me laugh out loud. Very funny stuff, and great way to get your players in the mood. As I said, lots of tokens and markers and cards come with the game, and the quality is standard. I mean, the art on the volunteer card is unique to the Discworld genre, funny and quirky. Wasn't too crazy about the art on the board, it looks a bit cluttered, but that's a minor detail. The game is basically a race of who gets the spells first, and there's a little bit of player interaction, but the main strategy is getting those spells back to the college and fast. We wish the dragons were a bit more powerful so as they needed to be removed, but they were easily defeated. That's the thing with the game, it seemed a lot of it was easy to accomplish. So it really did end up being a race. That's not saying it's bad, but it's definitely more of a lighthearted game as opposed to that other game, Annihilation Power Gamers from Deep Space 6X. Discworld does deliver on the fun element. Guards get 7.5 quirky spells out of 10.